Mayfield is a massive disappointment, a disappointment of epic proportions.
The Browns are likely to move on regardless of whether they land Deshaun Watson.
I'm going to tell him at 28 years old, retire, save your brand, and go to college football and be an analyst. Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask, it's a battle to see who'll start at quarterback. It's time to retire. You lead the NFL in interceptions since you entered. You're not a franchise quarterback.
The Browns want an adult in the room. New article from Jason Lloyd said Baker was widely viewed as childish and immature, annoying teammates, and was difficult to coach.
Baker's not a superior talent. He's not a superior talent. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not somebody that can do it by himself. False, fake bull, like you some tough guy that can ride high all by yourself because you're not a superior talent. You need people around you to play well.
Baker Mayfield, you look awful. Just awful.
I want to know, predict the Bucs record and how far they'll make it in the playoffs this year.
13-4 going to the Super Bowl.
Can you imagine letting us, man, like he win the MVP? Like y'all had the MVP. Y'all had this.
Yeah.
But y'all didn't believe in me. Y'all said y'all wanted a grown up. I guess I grew up on.
Baker is even shocking me at the level he's playing at because he is flat out just slinging it. And he is the MVP through this point.
Like when he was in Cleveland, when he didn't play well, I said that. But I have no problem whatsoever giving a man credit when credit is due. His credit is due.
As an MVP voter, I would say yes. Baker Mayfield's playing the quarterback position currently at a top 3 level, and because he has a record that substantiates the way he's playing the quarterback position, you have to say yes.
But, early on in my career, it's looked as cocky, immature. Now it's moxie. He's a dog. So it's same, different day.
Baker Mayfield was written off. The Browns moved on, the Panthers gave up, and the Rams gave him a couple games. But in Tampa Bay, something changed. Now the same league that laughed at him might have to watch him win an MVP or even hoist the Lombardi. When Mayfield was drafted first overall in 2018, he was supposed to save Cleveland. He had swag, confidence, and the arm talent to back it up. His rookie season looked promising. 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. This was a pretty good start for a rookie, and the Browns finally had hope. In his 2020 season, he led the Browns to their first playoff appearance since 2002. This ended an 18-year drought, the longest active streak in the NFL at the time. That year, the Browns went 11-5, and Mayfield helped them win their first playoff game since 1994. But we should know by now, no one, and I mean absolutely no one, can save the Cleveland Browns. And a quick break for today's sponsor. I gotta put you guys on the Underdog Fantasy. Normally you play $5 for $50 in bonus funds, but for this promo you only have to play $5 for $100 in bonus funds. All you gotta do is sign up with my code SPORTSCODE or use the link in the description, and Underdog will hook you up with this special offer. Must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. Now back to the video. The NFL moves fast, and by 2021 the same energy that made him special was being called immaturity. Analysts questioned his leadership. Former teammates questioned his attitude, injuries piled up, his mechanics got sloppy, and suddenly Baker wasn't the next big thing anymore. The Browns traded for Deshaun Watson and made their message clear. They were done. Baker went from being the guy to being expendable. And then came Carolina, a short, ugly stop that ended before it even started.
Byron Murphy.
He barely lasted half a season before being released. Baker Mayfield's time with the Carolina Panthers in 2022 was supposed to be a fresh start, but it quickly turned into one of the lowest points of his career. In 7 games, he had a 57.8% completion percentage, threw for 1,313 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, and the team went 2-6 in his starts. Those numbers told the story of an offense that couldn't find rhythm or identity, no matter how hard Mayfield tried to spark it. The Panthers coaching staff rotated quarterbacks searching for answers, and by early December, Mayfield reportedly asked for a release after allegedly being told that he would be the number 3 quarterback on the list. Analysts pointed out that Mayfield's decision-making looked rushed, the offensive scheme didn't suit his strengths, and the chemistry with Carolina's receivers never clicked. What was meant to be a redemption arc instead became a harsh reminder that Mayfield's career, once full of promise after his early Cleveland days, was now hanging by a thread. When Baker Mayfield joined the LA Rams in December 2022, he didn't get much time to settle in. Just 48 hours after being claimed off waivers, he found himself leading the team in a clutch situation. His debut with the Rams, he went 22 of 35 for 230 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. He also engineered a 98-yard game-winning drive in the final minutes against the Raiders. Over the course of his stint with LA, Mayfield played in 5 games, throwing for 850 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Mayfield's run with the Rams started like a movie, but it didn't end that way. By the final week, he was struggling again, completing just half his passes with a costly overtime interception against Seattle. The early spark faded, but Baker was not ready to go. He was offered a backup role with the Rams, but he said, "I know I'm good enough to be a starting quarterback. I have no doubt about that." It was a statement of defiance and a promise that he soon have to back up in Tampa Bay. But at this point, the first overall pick had started to become an NFL afterthought. Baker Mayfield's move to Tampa Bay was more than just a change of scenery. It marked the whole reset. In his first full season with the Bucs in 2023, he threw for 4,044 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. He completed 64.3% of his passes, and he proved that he could lead a full season. He stayed relatively consistent and took them to the playoffs. He had a great outing against the Eagles in the playoffs. It was a 32-9 beatdown where he threw for 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 picks. And then came the 2024 season. That's where people really started whispering MVP. Mayfield set career highs across the board. 41 passing touchdowns, 16 picks, 4,500 passing yards, and a 71.4% completion percentage. He was tied for second most passing touchdowns and was third in passing yards that year. Mayfield helped elevate the Bucs offense to one of the more dangerous ones in the league. And after an electric 2024 season, expectations were sky high for Baker Mayfield in 2025. And so far, he's been making a serious case for MVP, even if most people won't admit it still. Through 6 games, he's thrown for 1,539 yards, 12 touchdowns, and only 1 interception with a 66.2 completion percentage. Week 5 versus Seattle, Mayfield torched their defense. 29 of 33 passes completed, which was 87.9%, 379 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He led his fourth quarter comeback of that season in that game and earned FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Week. In Week 6 versus San Fran, despite having an undermanned receiving core, Baker still connected for 256 yards and 2 touchdowns, orchestrating the win with limited help. Part of all this success couldn't be mentioned without the help of rookie wideout Emeka Egbuka. He exploded onto the scene and has been a major factor in Tampa Bay's offense. In just 6 games, he's hauled in 27 receptions for 469 yards and 5 touchdowns. He became the first player in NFL history to post 25 catches, 400+ yards, and 5 touchdowns in his first 5 career games. He's also been awarded for this because he was named Offensive Rookie of the Month for September, leading all rookies in receiving yards and touchdowns. So the story so far has been high stakes and high output, even when his supporting cast is battered by injuries. Baker's MVP buzz is real and the narrative around him is shifting. ESPN reporters say that the league's perception of Mayfield is changing amid this run. But some people point out bias and how MVP candidates could sometimes be a popularity contest.
I think there's a little bit of bias to it. I think there's some bias to the fact that Mahomes is Mahomes. We don't see Baker Mayfield as an MVP. We can't envision Baker Mayfield as an MVP. And as a result, people do not want to give Baker the benefit of the doubt.
And before the game against San Fran, Baker Mayfield was still being overlooked in the MVP race. They couldn't overlook this any longer as he now has the second highest odds to win MVP behind Patrick Mahomes. Even with a revolving door of injuries across his offense, Mayfield has kept Tampa Bay firmly in the playoff hunt. Literally almost every single one of his offensive weapons have gotten injured. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Bucky Irvin, and now Emeka Egbuka. Despite all this, he's still in the top 5 for most of the quarterback stats, and he's also added 158 rushing yards, showing some of his dual threat capability. His decision making, his feel in the pocket, his clutch ability, and his leadership, they all transformed the Buccaneers into a legitimate contender again. Yet the bias remains. Baker Mayfield has finally flipped the script. And don't be surprised because a Super Bowl run isn't even a long shot anymore. With his MVP caliber play and the Buccaneers' strong start, a championship feels within reach once again as long as they can get healthy soon. So at this point, Baker Mayfield's no longer chasing headlines, he's rewriting them. Every throw, every win, he's proving the critics wrong and putting Tampa Bay back on the map. If he keeps this